Hello, my sweet dear friends. Welcome, willkommen to your weekly forecast. It is your favorite psychic occultist, Madame President of the Artigan, Natalee. Welcome, willkommen. All take a seat. Make yourself very comfortable. We will be discussing February 28th through March 7th, 2022. Then at the end of the astrological energy horoscope, we'll dive into the tarot for any channeled messages. My channeling style, just as an FYI, is remote viewing for any other psychics interested. If you are interested in additional weekly channeled messages for all zodiac signs, come on. Extra for Capricorn if you're fancy, because we are over on the Patreon. Is that going to work okay? Hold on. We have a little bit of a new setup here. I'm very excited about it. Okay, daily messages, monthly energy scopes, tarot, astrology, psychic classes, or one-to-one weekly Zoom sessions with me. Bookmark the Patreon in the link in the description box below to read up on that later. Or you can book one-to-one Zoom sessions with me, just the Zoom session. It's a 30-minute block to talk through or coach through anything that's like especially, sorry, what is it on my lip? Sorry. Anything that's going on. If you have anything going on, you can also do that in the link in the description box below. Okay, my dears, why can't I see my chat box? Hold on. Oh, there you are. Aw, thank you, Frelentia. Thank you for the good vibes. Okay, there you guys are. I see you now. All right, my loves. I'm doing a little bit better with the timestamps too. This is going to be called, oopsie, this part here is going to be called the prologue. Okay, so it's a big week this week. We have the Pisces new moon this Wednesday, and this week I'm guided to discuss with you heaven. So what I do is I meditate and I remote view into the astrology, the transits, what's going on, what's coming up, and then I get stuff, I get information. That's how it happens here. Okay. Our collective idea of heaven is that we die and then we go there. And then when we're there, we experience supreme bliss. Peace. So do you think heaven is a place that your soul goes, or that supreme bliss is something that happens to you? When we die, we give the body and the ego back to the earth. The ego dies with the body. We die to give. Oh, I hope the sound is better. The sound should be better. You guys let me know. Sorry. Okay. We give the body back. The ego dies with the body. And then it's your past friends, family, loved ones, animals, pets of your choosing that meet you. So it's like your favorite people on the other side meet you to help you transition over to the other side. You then have your reunion party. I talked this on short form over on the TikTok. But then you have your reunion party, and you choose that too. So you it could be at the forest preserve. It can be in a forest. It can be in a castle. It could be in the ocean, at the bottom of the ocean. Ooh, how do you want to do that though? But anyway, you get to catch up with everyone and they with you. Then, when you're done catching up with everybody, then a being, let's just leave it there, a being will come to take you to your life review. This is very, very important. This is like the most important part. That's when you watch your entire life, every moment from beginning to end. And your only purpose is to learn what you were not able to learn or understand when you were embodied, when you had the body. So like right now, you guys, right now. The only thing that being will say to you is to ask you, what did you learn? That's it. You're also going to feel the feelings that you made others feel in your lifetime. And that's to help you understand all of the times when you made someone feel pain and all the times that you made someone feel really amazing. I don't even think you guys are getting any of this wonderful, delicious frankincense, but just trust that it's like right over here. Sorry. That being said, that being is there to love you through the process, because as you can imagine, like there may be parts of your life that you're just not wanting to go ahead and like relive, but that's okay. That's okay, because that being is going to just ask you, what did you learn? And then they're going to love you through that process. If there's anything that you're upset about now, or hurt about, or angry about, you must forgive it. Learn its lesson and let it go in your life review to move on to heaven. I repeat, you go through your entire life, you learn everything that you were supposed to learn here on earth, then you forgive it, you let it go, you learn its lesson that it was meant to teach you, and then you move on to heaven. Heaven isn't something that happens to you. Supreme bliss doesn't happen to you. It's a free will choice. At this Pisces new moon this week, March 2nd, for the next 2 weeks, and then subliminally over the next 6 months, you can heal yourself while you're embodied now to create your heaven on earth. If you want. If you don't let it go now, if you don't learn it now, you have to in the life review to move on to heaven. Like, you have to choose supreme bliss. You have to choose heaven. There's souls that don't choose that want to hold on to the pain and anger and want to be real bad and mean. And I feel like ghosts is such a derogatory term, because ghosts were people too. That's not my joke. I saw that. It was a zombie pin. Zombies were people too. They were like protesting. Just giving credit where credit's due. But like those souls are the ones that like go haunt you and haunt people, and they're real mean and they're all poltergeisty, and it's they did not let it go. They did not move on. So I'm digressing. This is going to be, all my videos are long, but this is going to be a real long one. Okay, when I remote view into this energy of this week, of the Pisces new moon, I see the psychic school for children. I see everyone as children and as parents. Every single one of us must be a good parent. Even if you don't have children and you never want to have children, that's totally okay. You have to be a great parent to yourself. The 5-year-old version of you that comes through in your emotions and feelings of vulnerability, excitability, peacefulness, and authenticity. So I remember I did not like that idea or that concept of like the inner child. That just sounded like such a, I don't know, it didn't resonate with me, let's just say. But it came up through my higher self talking to me about it, and the way she explained it to me, and it makes so now I'm putting it in a way that like I understood it, and the way I was told. So that inner child, let's just say through your feelings, like when your feelings are coming up of vulnerability or getting real excited, or like the part of you that really lights up, like when you see animals, and when you get real excited about like ice cream or something, it's like that's you. That's that 5-year-old version of you that's still with you. It's the authentic you. Remember that one emotion, one feeling contains terabytes of psychic and cosmic information. You are everyone, all of us, everyone on the planet are about to get some deep downloads directly to the unconscious this week, because Pisces energy is also where we're connecting to our karma and our past lives. So it's like the energy you're working through, it's not just like this lifetime of your childhood and your ancestry and the epigenetic DNA, it's like past lifetimes too. There's things that you're working out in this lifetime that you've been trying to overcome for generations, maybe like hundreds of years, okay? But you couldn't because you were like in a village and things moved at a much slower pace, or, like whatever. So, okay, back to this. When I see a strong aversion to children in adults, because I'm tuning into this energy and I'm getting children. I'm getting everyone as children, and I'm here to stress the importance of being a good parent to yourself. Even if you're never going to have children, don't want children, that's okay. When I see a strong aversion to children in adults, it's telling me how they treat themselves. You can never want kids in your personal, like as your personal life decision, and not be intensely triggered by other people having children. You know, that tells me some things, that tells me there's some area of life that they're really cruel with themselves. Maybe they had a dream to do great things, achieve some goal. You know, they went after it, it didn't happen maybe, or it didn't work out the way they wanted it to, or when they wanted it to. Maybe they see a young teenager or someone in their 20s or something going after their dream, their same dream, and doing the same thing. And you know, maybe they resent it, you know, but they're watching them do it, or maybe they secretly hope that they're going to fail, or if they are like a parent, maybe they're like living vicariously through this child or something, and maybe that young person fails, just like they did. But maybe they try again. Maybe they keep trying. Maybe they just don't give up. Maybe they only see failure as when you stop trying, and they just keep trying and they fail, and they keep trying and they fail. That could really hurt the adult that gave up on themselves, that was cruel with themselves. To have a dream and not give yourself the chance, give up on yourself. Even though it shouldn't hurt anyone around you. It has nothing to do with anyone else when an individual goes after their dream, or advances in their personal life and starts a family, or wants to launch their own business, or like anything else. It shouldn't affect anybody else, what someone's doing. So that's like maybe not like a red flag, maybe a red flag, depends, but it's just something to know. Like if you have a strong aversion to children, if it bothers you to see children being treated very well, or getting what they want, or someone else going and doing something and treating themselves very well, that's something for you to look at internally so you can be a better parent to yourself. You don't need to own your own business or have a child or anything like that, but you do need to stop holding your own parents to their archetypal expectations that you have of them, and just restore them to the mere humans that they are. Like they're just like dude over here and like girl over there. Like they're just human, you know? They are just human. They're just human that they are, so that you can parent yourself as that archetypal mother or father that you need. So you can be that to yourself, so that when a feeling of maybe insecurity comes up in you, that's your inner child. So then you parent yourself, because there's that other part of you that's a little bit more logical, that's more grown up, that's adult, and can reason and rationalize with that other part of you, and have that voice inside of your head be very positive and affirming and uplifting, and motivational if it's like the father archetype, or to be very nurturing and supportive and like holding space for you to be vulnerable and have that feeling and that emotional vulnerability if it's the mother archetype. Okay, where was I? You guys know how it goes. I write this whole thing and then I just like totally go off book here. Otherwise, it's part of the subconscious programming running your life and your decisions in the background. So for instance, let's say your mother or father was overly concerned and like overly controlling of your body. Like whatever you looked like, maybe they made consistent comments about your body being too this or not enough of that. Maybe they over controlled your food portions. Maybe they pressured you. Maybe they were super strict about your eating or about like your image or like what you looked like. Maybe they wanted you to be more athletic, like whatever. As an adult, you need to wait until overeating eating compulsively or emotionally, like emotional eating, or smoking cigarettes, or stubbornly not working out like on purpose, whatever it is, you have to wait until that doesn't feel good anymore. Not like it did when you had a first taste of freedom from the oppressive parent. Maybe you were on a diet, and when it ended, you just ate a whole box of donuts, the best tasting donuts of your life. As an adult, you're still eating boxes of donuts because it's delicious, but like as an adult, all that stuff is harmful to you, that kind of, but you're doing it because it feels like power. It feels like freedom. It feels like autonomy, but it's not. It's a subconscious programming. But you have to wait until it doesn't feel good anymore. And then you want to go for a run. You want to eat healthier because that does feel good to you. That's just one example. But you can mine your experience, look at your own upbringing, your own past, and look for yours. Okay? Because if we don't look for it, if you don't confront it, then the subconscious programming is just what runs you. And if it's like, I'll get there. Okay. I'm very aware when I'm with kids that I am imprinting into their subconscious. Deepest when they're under 7 years old. I do have a whole plan for mine, like my kids, and I've tested it on other people's kids, and it works to a T. It works. Okay, so basically, your kids are living your life. And when you were growing up, you were living your parents' life. When they're 9, 10, 11, 12, they get more freedom to test the consequences of their free will actions. And then when they're 18, they're fully empowered, off on their own, living their own lives. But until then, they're living your life. They're bearing the consequences of your decisions and channeling what you're channeling and feeling what you're feeling. So I see it as this decade, long, like apprenticeship, like shadowing, like shadow days, shadowing mom until their will takes them to design their own days. And then, because you decide when you're an adult, like, oh, I'm not going to do what my dad did. I'm not going to live like how my mom lived. I'm not going to have that kind of routine, or I'm not going to be so disorganized, or I'm not going to be over strict and super organized, or I'm not going to, you get to make up your own mind if you're conscious. Otherwise, the subconscious programming is going to take in. And if your parent was like, screw everything, I'm against, nothing matters. And it's like, it's everyone's got like a different story, different programming. So imparting that perspective made it easy for the children to feel safe within those boundaries. Telling my niece, what we're doing, when playtime is, when movie time is, what she can expect in the morning, etc. Because she will decide for herself. The children will decide for themselves what they want for their life based on judging the experience it was for them to live yours. And if you don't ever want any kids, how you lived your parents' life. The subconscious loyalty to the parent is to repeat the same self-destruction, the same self-defeating mentality, so that you don't progress beyond what your parents were able to spiritually. So that's why you keep yourself lower, you keep yourself ignorant, you keep yourself disempowered, because the subconscious loyalty says that if I outgrow my parents, if I go beyond where they were able to grow spiritually or accomplish more than they were in the world and they had, if I make their dream come true for me, it's, it'll alienate me from them. It'll jeopardize my connection with them. The fears, XYZ. It's okay to outgrow your parents. When I'm around kids and with my kids, I'm going to train them up to be better than me. I want you to be better than me, faster, stronger, wiser, smarter, everything sooner and younger than me. Like, I love that. I actually love just like, I'm a Capricorn with my Capricorn stellium. So I just love to, anyway. They tell you, the children will tell you when they're ready to learn. They will ask questions when they feel that they trust you. My niece, Aries, okay, she's an Aries sun, Gemini rising, Taurus moon. It doesn't work to just tell her things directly. She takes it as a challenge. She's like, you know, she needs to come to the right answer on her own. She needs to discover it organically on her own. And she needs to be trusted with doing the right thing instead of forcing her. She's so bright. She really is. And when someone says that someone's bright, like a child is very bright, or like, you know, an adult is very bright, that's the mental body. That's the mental energy that is being used. Like, so watch the psychic mental health video I just did like last week. Because when you're using that mental energy, that mental body, it does get brighter and brighter. So people can see that from your aura. They can feel like, oh, that's like there's like a brightening around you. So really quick. So I had just picked up my niece and we were driving back to my place and we passed the cemetery. And this is before I worked at a cemetery. She's 6 years old, I think, at the time. Passing by the cemetery. And she goes, oh, she's looking out the window. Oh, a cemetery. Oh, so sad. I go, it's not sad. Cemetery's not sad. Ava, like, why is the cemetery sad? And she goes, all those people, they're dead. And then I just sort of, I like to do it up. Like, I know that they're living my life for whenever I have these kids, but that I am just this guest star, walk-on role in their life. Like, I know that, okay, first of all, you know that feeling, I know, I'm bringing it home. Stay with me. You know that feeling when you wake up in the morning and when you're going to sleep at night? That's the theta brainwave state. And you're like, you know, children are in that state last trimester of mom's pregnancy until they're 7 years old. Everything is like that for them. Everything is just very, you know, that's why scaring them, it's like, you know, it's so, I know that about them. Like, I know that it's just, they're going to remember me with this like golden glowy haze around whatever's happening, whatever their experience of me is. So I really am like this sort of like occultist Mary Poppins. So I kind of transformed. Like in that moment, I just morphed into this Dr. Seuss, Mary Poppins, occultist, Martha Stewart. I'm like, teachable moment here. Go Ava. All of us will give our body back. So all of us will have to, you know, physically die. But when that happens, you still see and think and feel. Really? I go, yeah, it's your soul, it's your spirit, and it drives your body. And this little girl was ahead of me. Before I could say anything, she interjects, like a glass car? Like glass cars. Very good. Like Monsieur Gustave. So my work here is done. You know, it's like, it was so, it's like one of those perfect moments. She got it just like that. She got it. She got it. Oh, so proud of her in that moment. Ava, future Ava, 18-year-old Ava, 45-year-old Ava watching this, I love you so dearly. My precious, darling girl, forever and ever and always, Auntie Natalie. Okay, so children learn through play. Oh, I love children. Okay, so I love, when I'm with kids, it's like a vacation. I just turn everything off. Like, I don't think about work. I don't think about my life. I don't think about pressures. I don't think about expectations. They are it. They're it, and it's just play. It is just, it's a vacation for me, because I'm just like, everything else will get done. I just, you know, we'll do it. You know, you're with me, you're shadowing me, you know, but we're going to play. Because they learn through play, and there are so many teachable moments through play and having fun. It's fun. Children are the ones that'll go with me into my imaginary world. That's why it's so much fun. Like, they'll go there, and like, it's so, that's why it's so fun. Because like, God, adults are bleak. The whole purpose of shadow work, what we talk about, shadow work and ego deaths, which, by the way, ego deaths, so that's not like, I've had like maybe 3 in my life. Like that's not like a daily thing or a weekly thing or anything. You have like maybe little pinches of when your ego needs to be like checked a little bit, but like the ego death that I refer to, I'm trying to normalize it so that people will feel like they can have the ego death, but it's kind of few and far and in between. The whole purpose of this shadow work and ego deaths are to lighten you, to let go and release the heavy burdens of hatred, pain, bitterness, and resentment. When you are light, joyful, grateful, peaceful, you can be playful, you can be imaginative, and you can see opportunity. It's in those moments when you impart some anecdote or metaphor that just clicks for them, that gets lodged into their subconscious. I don't think Eve was going to remember that story, but it's there in her unconscious. It's there. And maybe one day when she's driving past a cemetery, something will just kind of click a little bit and the subconscious will deliver it from the unconscious or conscious mind, and something might feel just kind of familiar. Anyway, when they think back to that day, when you told them a story, when you gave them a metaphor, when, whatever that clicked moment was, when they think back to that day, your face is surrounded, like I said before, in that golden haze of childhood nostalgia. So just speaking to my parents out there, and even if you're not a parent, you don't want to be a parent, that's okay. Because this is all about you then, okay? This is about you and your memories, you and your lived experience. Gosh, and this is where I talk about, this is where I like to do it up, make everything really bright and vivid for kids when I have them. Oh, and why I look them straight in the eyes when I'm talking to them, so that they really get it. So that it's like they get my eyes. Like you don't forget, like when that happens, when someone makes you look them in the eye, they don't, I think it's just because I'm from the Midwest too. I say what I mean what I say, and I look into someone's eyes when I'm saying it. So it's like, why wouldn't I do that with children? But it's like, I really, like, psychically, I'm like, putting it into your subconscious, giving this Okay, so it's through those transfers. It's through your stories of your life. That's how you survive beyond physical death. That's your legacy that you leave behind. The true quintessence of who you were and what you and your life was all about. It's created and set in those moments with your children, or for others of you, it's in those moments staying up late, rewriting the first draft of your great American novel or screenplay, pouring all of your love and your heartache into it, or staying up late editing a makeup tutorial for your website that you want to be just so. Anything new that's precious to you needs you to pour your essence into it 100% before you see a return on that investment. Just like a baby needs you until it can take care of itself, so does that small business that isn't anything yet. It isn't anything yet. It needs 100% of your effort until it takes shape and form and can eventually support itself. The baby, the business, same thing. They need 100% of you to get nice and big and strong so that they can take care of themselves. It's the blank page of your screenplay that holds myriad potentialities waiting for you to imprint exactly who you are and what you're about and what you think about this whole life experience into the page that determines your immortal legacy. It's how you leave a piece of your soul here for the rest of these mortals after you transition to the other side. Once this gate opens on March 2nd, it won't close. By seeing who walks through and who turns back, we'll see clearly what each individual makes of their own unique struggle between ignorance and illumination, and whose integrity is stronger than their fear. Each day may feel very long this week. We are living in a time of greater and faster change than ever before. So drink your 3 to 4 liters of water every day and sleep very restfully. And we shall commence Monday, today, 28th. I'm calling it Ready Freddy. So, the moon in Aquarius squares, the moon in Aquarius conjuncts Mercury and Saturn, and conjuncts just means that like the two planets are like dink, they're together. Everything's spinning, right? Everything's spinning, but when they spin in their little orbital paths and they're like, hey, that's conjunct. So the moon is conjuncting Mercury and Saturn, and it activates a square. The square is the relationship of tension between these two sources of energy. You're a source of energy, a planet's a source of energy. So, okay, so this is going to activate more of the changes of last year and this year when we had the ongoing Saturn-Uranus square. It's not going to go exact like it did 3 times in 2021, but it will get pretty close in October. So infrastructure, commodities, centralized systems, decentralized systems, internet, connectivity, social groups, and what's that called? Like taking something here and bringing it over here, like all of those processes are going to continue to be in flux. And it does activate the Mars-Saturn conjunction in Aquarius, March 2020. So, you know, for you personally, this is going to activate some, you know, today, Monday, it's like wherever you're being pushed to like grow and outgrow things that you were very much resistant to, you're feeling like you're tuning into how to take that more seriously. And it's like, I got to take this more seriously. Also today, Mars and Venus in Capricorn trine the North Node in Taurus. This is really nice. So you're ready for change. You know, maybe in March 2020, you were not so ready for change. You were like, oh no, I don't know what this is. I'm scared. Oh, you know, but Mars and Venus in Capricorn is saying, no, you've either found a way to work it for yourself, or there's just like other things that are opening up that you're ready to, that are like worth it to be, for. So you're embracing and you're holding space for that first step on the new path. Because remember, you've never lived this life before. So, you know, if that's the North Node, you don't want to live what you've already lived in this lifetime. You don't want to live what you've lived in the past lifetimes or what your ancestors have lived. You are freeing yourself of your subconscious patterning and programming so that you can make a new decision, take a new path that you've never taken before, and live something that you've never lived, but live an experience you've never lived before. If you're a little excited and nervous, that's good. You're alive. You're alive. You have a body to animate and like, you know, decorate it how you want to. That's why I am not judgmental at all for any kind of cosmetic surgeries. It's like, this is your avatar. You know, it's like customizing in like a video game. Like, do it however you want. Like, it's cool, you know, as long as it's authentic. As long as you're customizing yourself to look like you want to look in your image, not because you're carbon copying other people's features or other things, or, you know, that's the only thing. So Saturn in Aquarius can exacerbate cosmetic surgery. You know, it could be a lot of it, but if it's not authentic, that's more dysmorphic. That's like, what's that? Body dysmorphic disorder, BDD, or something like that. Okay. Aiming for a change of destiny, and you can take an action to manifest that today. Here's an interesting thing. This, like a new moon, you usually want to like give it a couple of days to get some light and to take some form, to see like how it's going to take shape and like what's going to happen. But this week, it's really like there's so much going on that things are kind of activating on the new moon. So you might see like visceral changes and things happening like on Wednesday. Sorry, I don't know. I think it's like because it's like the morning of like, oh, sorry. What you're doing, how and where you're channeling your passion and your love is your clue. I'm sorry. So you'll know, like, you know what gets you going. Like, you know. Or you know what's bothering you, or you know what you're excited about, you know what you're passionate about, you know. And you know what part of it represents this like, ooh, quality, because it's like new and different. Ooh. Tuesday, March 1st. Happy March, happy month change. I'm calling this day, where's your will to be weird? Warm my mind near your gentle stove. Okay, so the void Aquarian moon until the afternoon. It's like the first half of Tuesday, you want to meditate, you want to keep a light schedule, you want to daydream. You're feeling out if you have that will to be weird. You're feeling it out. It's more contemplative, meditative. If you did take any action, or if you made up your mind on Monday, you're going to kind of like sit with it. You're going to maybe sleep on it, sit with it in that morning, early afternoon. Every person has a weak and needy part of them that can be bought. And every one of us has a part of us that's resilient and can never be bought. Alan Moore, and this was a 9-tile billboard on my Instagram before I deactivated it, said, quote, "Our integrity sells for so little, but it is all we really have. It is the very last inch of us. But within that inch, we are free." End quote. Meditate on your will to be weird, to be an individual, to be who you are, to be who you came here to be. Most importantly, will you be honest with yourself? Not to me or like your parents or your spouse or your kids, to yourself. Will you admit exactly who you are to yourself or not? So meditate on that in the morning until afternoon. Then the moon enters Pisces. By afternoon, you're ready to believe a lie out of fear, or to believe in who you are out of courage and faith. Piscean energy can make fear very real to us, or heaven very real to us. It's our free will that creates our spirituality. When you feel fear, do you admit it to yourself? If you admit it to yourself, you can confront it logically. Can you do that? Can you confront it logically? Or do you act on it and make important life decisions on it? If you're not honest with yourself, you're just going to act on the fear. You're going to make big life decisions. You're going to act on the fear. To confront it logically means you have to first admit it, not to anyone else but to yourself, how you really feel. Like I told you guys, we talked about this when the sun entered Pisces. We're all going to live in our own little worlds. So create love in your life. I don't care what it is. I don't care who it is. I don't care what it's about. Make it authentic. Just nurture it and just enjoy it. Enjoy it. The entire point of self-mastery is to enjoy its benefits of being able. Power. There's power shifts happening this week too. Power is defined as the ability to do something, to create your own version of heaven on earth. Use your imagination. Do you know one of the books that saved my life? I mean, there were a lot of books that saved my life. Growing up, I would see my mother reading like a stack of like 7 or 8 books at a time. Like she would read maybe like a memoir or like a biography, and she'd get like bored, so she'd put it down, but then she'd pick up like a sci-fi and read the sci-fi. And she'd get maybe a little bored, she'd put it down, then she picks up, like she would keep reading, but like just get different like flavors and different, and that's part of my subconscious program. That's like a healthy, positive thing, is to grow up reading and writing and journaling, and my passion for pens and stationery. And she's a writer, so I grew up, I'm like, I want to be a writer, and but it helped channel it was like a great outlet that she gave me to channel. So one of the books that my mom read me was, as I was a very small child, called The Little Match Girl. Do you know how gruesome that book is? There's a lot of kids' books are pretty whew. Okay, so it's about, a spoiler alert, it's about a little girl out in the cold, homeless, hungry, with a box of matches, who sits in a snowbank, and with each strike of a match, she imagines some beautiful scene of life previously unimagined. Some beautiful scene of happiness previously unimagined. That she's in a home, that she's loved, that she's got a lot of food. Every match goes out and she's back in her reality of being cold in a snowbank. Each match is a new scene, a new dream, until all the matches are gone and she dies because she's sitting in a snowbank. She's freezing to death. The full moon in Leo brought the truth of your heart to the surface, and you were tasked with deciding for yourself what's really worth it or not, and why. Now, you're tasked with asking yourself, do you believe in it or not? Whatever you choose, you're right, because you're going to make that real for you. That little match girl, that's such a Pisces energy too. It's like, oh my God. So I'll just leave that there. Okay, so also the sun in Pisces sextiles Uranus and Taurus. This will help you believe in the new, the different, the original, the novel, the unique, that it can work. That this new, different way of thinking or behaving can be sustainable. That it's not just a dream. That it can work. It can actually work. And work well. Not just work, but work well. Not just well, but even maybe better than before. The greatest losses come from missed opportunities. And how can you even identify an opportunity when you're in fear, when you're depressed, or when you're self-conscious or worried or needy or desperate? You're not using your imagination the right way. You're not, it's all off. You can't see the opportunity. Or you can't take the opportunity, or you can't accept the opportunity, or you reject the opportunity, whatever it is. Wednesday. March 2nd. Okay, here's the Pisces new moon. I'm calling it Portal Transcendental. Okay, so the great thing about, oh my God, Wednesday is that Venus at 26 degrees Capricorn leaves shadow. I told you guys about this week that we're living right now. I told you guys about this week. We talked about this week already. Early November 2021. And we're finally here. Huzzah. Congrats. Congratulations. We all made it. Dusters. We all made it. Moving forward, we're going to feel so much more secure about the Capricorn area of life, to feel more grounded in what we're worth and why. That it doesn't have anything to do with anyone or anything else. We've learned how, when the world or people in our lives don't give us credit, we've learned how to give that credit to ourselves. We know. We know deep down. Value systems have been readjusted. Love, sex, appreciation for something of the past could have resurfaced, including fears and anxieties to be worked through, realizing what and who we've taken for granted, and feeling our way through the steps in order to give justice to what our heart wants. We now understand what that looks like. We're now closing out this block of time that I've been talking about since November. And like it's now like the new. The real new, the real start of 2022 can begin. And we're starting on a more We're starting on a more heart-informed footing. So you had to go back to the future. Okay. Mercury conjunct Saturn in Aquarius. I like this. This is like promotion or demotion. It's the approval to move forward, to proceed, or it's the denial to go back and make it better. Okay. Actually, I can kind of I'll just really quick kind of show you what it looks like. Portal Transcendental, composing a new energy, you're making a new form, but it's being formed like in the imagination first. So that's why you have to like not go fear and not go negative, because life is really changing. So the new moon and this is where we're doing the new moon. Oh, housekeeping is going to be at the very end of the video. Okay. So this new moon in Pisces is the sun, the moon, conjunct. That's always the new moon, is when the moon and the sun are together, conjunct. But it's also with Jupiter and Neptune. First of all, this is karma. Everything new right now has sort of been agreed upon before you incarnated. Because after you go to heaven, there's a lot of stuff you can do after that. Like after you let everything go, make the free will choice to even be in supreme bliss. You can get light surgery if you had a very, very hard time in this life. And if you did a lot of stuff, you can be a spirit guide to someone that's still alive that you really care about. You can take on some other divine tasks. You can do a lot. You can go and read your Akashic records. You can just chill. It's like you can do a lot there. So, okay. So this is karma, the unconscious. It's creativity, this Piscean energy. It's healing. It's transitioning. So this area of life expands, and you could feel very expansive. Dream the biggest dream for your life. I always tell you guys that. You're opening up to something great. So make the most of it. Be very careful with drugs and alcohol. I do not recommend any of that, especially at this time, because over the next couple of weeks, people could just, not even trying to overdose, just take more than they even think that they're taking, or alcohol poisoning. Like it's just, you can really overdo it and just not even be cognizant of it. It could be accidental, very, very accidental. If anything like that happens to anyone that you know, it's just probably very likely accident, over this next month, okay? Okay. Also, I'm getting like this gate that opens, but you have to believe it. You have to, because everything that you imagine, everything that you visualize, you're creating energy structures in other dimensions, and then it's going to come down in the physical dimension. So, okay, so the moon is also sextiling Uranus in Taurus. This is like grooving with change. This new moon, it's like you can be very with it. Even if you need a little bit of time to adjust to the new, you can still like go with it. Like just give yourself time that you need, like just have that overall, you know, that you want it, that you're like, okay, this is new and scary, but like I'm gonna go with it because I like want to be with the future, you know. Okay, here's like the big thing. Venus conjuncts Mars conjuncts Pluto. We've been talking about this, I'm telling you, since like November. Who? Purified or refined by divine fire. This is great, magnificent karmic endings. Like something's going up, something's over. Magnificent karmic endings in order to birth a chosen, destined new beginning. This is a change of power. It is. There is a changing of the guard here. I'm keeping it on the individual level. That's how I'm guided. For you, if I'm ever guided otherwise, then I'll do that. For you, maybe you decide you won't let alcohol or greed lead your decision making. Or maybe you take up powerlifting to reclaim your body from cravings and lethargy and like oversleeping and depression. Maybe you're like, I'm gonna take up powerlifting. I'm gonna be super powerful. You know, I'm gonna take my power back. So this is huge. Like we've been looking forward to this forever. Also, this Venus Pluto has happened. There were 2 hits because Venus went retrograde. I think it was, I know one was like around Christmas, like December 24th, 25th. The other one was, I think, around the beginning of December, like the 10th or the 11th. So look around whatever was going on in your life at that time in like a big way. This is the resolution. You made it. Okay, it's being purified by divine fire. Like you've got to like let it go. You've got to accept it. You've got to, but it's like you probably will have to take some action. You'll probably have to do something to, okay, here's the thing with Pluto. Pluto wants to end and wants to cause great, dramatic, monumental endings so that it can give you a new beginning. So it's horrific when we're going through it because we're just terrified and it just feels very traumatic, but you know, you just have to go with it because the beginning is always worth it. Scorpio can be the scorpion, like the underground lowly creature with like the stinger, and that low Scorpio will hurt themselves just to hurt you. They'll go down just to take you down. Like it's pretty vengeful. But that's why Scorpio is very complex, intricate energy, because there's 3 symbols, there's 3 emblems. There's a scorpion, low Scorpio, super bitter, super, you know, and then there's the eagle, floating above it all, flying above everything, having the best perspective to see what is best overall for everyone in the long run, all of that. And then there's the phoenix, burnt up like an ego death, and then rising from the ashes. Like who can do that? What can do that? So you might have to be the scorpion and then be the phoenix and burn yourself up and then be the eagle in this Capricorn area of life in order to soar, in order to have that benefit. And it's not for anyone else, it's for you personally. So you can let go of all the painful things here in your body. And it depends. Maybe you have like a great, healthy, ableist body and you can enjoy food, or maybe you have a body that can't like digest food and you have a tube in your stomach and you have to make the best. Like everyone's different. Everyone has chose to have a different lived experience. But, you know, take a look at your life and seriously, it's a beautiful day. Like whatever you've got going for you, it's beautiful and it's wonderful. And especially with Venus, Pluto, you could really just burn down the perspective that was only looking for what you were lacking or what wasn't working or what you're not getting, or, you know, just like the negative. It'll be different for everybody. Okay. Also on this Pisces new moon, we have, and this is stamped into the new moon, so it's stamped into the energy. So it's not just a transit, which is going to last maybe like a week or something. This is stamped into the next 2 weeks and then fully unfolding. What is it on my face? Sorry. And then fully unfolding the next 6 months. I thought there was something, sorry. Fully unfolding over the next 6 months. Also at this new moon, but it's part, I'm sorry, okay, also at this new moon, I'm not going to keep going back to that because I can talk about this like for hours, but this is already going to be long enough. Also at the new moon, we have Mercury conjunct Saturn squaring Uranus. This is activating the ongoing change like of life. So think about the Texas snowstorm and the grids, think about GameStop, think about the Suez Canal. It's going to be like that the rest of the year, a big one in October. Okay. Serious game-changing information and plans. It's Hermes, Trismegistus, Apollo, Apollonian, Mercury right now. If you want to know what that means, check out my Astrology 101. Something that's been in flux, that's been changing and growing and evolving because of new information becomes crystallized via a commitment or the red tape. Mercury's out of shadow. This took since December 2021 because it had to dismantle the old ways of thinking and behaving and operating first and open you up to a new possibility. So this is kind of like a really big deal. Whatever this is for you, like the Capricorn, Aquarian area, it had to really, like the retrogrades are so necessary because it's like it has to go back and pull up all of the, what's it called? All of the plants and like re-plow, re-till, whatever it is, the dirt, and get it all prepped and ready and nutrient rich in order to put down the new seeds. So it's like, that's like work. You know what I'm saying? Hold on. Okay. Do we have anything else? Mars conjunct Pluto. Okay, I talked about all of that. So that's your new moon in Pisces. You have a lot of resources to build your heaven on earth. You just walk through that gate. You have the resources to burn down the subconscious programming, overcome any subconscious loyalty to your parents, to make fully heart-informed decisions. Like, you've got it all. And guys, it's like this spring is the window, is the gate, because it's going to peak like April, May, and then, oh my God, it's going to be like the world really changing, like really, really fast, like, and it's going to be having to go back a lot to make something. It's a whole thing. Okay. Portal Transcendental. Okay. So let's move on. Ooh. Thursday. Get carried away. Venus conjuncts Pluto and Capricorn. It goes exact on Thursday. Oh my God. And when the aspects are applying on a lunation, it grows. It grows and grows and grows and grows. When an aspect's already passed and it's fading, It's separating on a lunation. It disintegrates, it pulls apart. So this is like something that you're like building. Venus conjuncts Pluto and Capricorn. I like this a lot. So whatever maybe was coming up beginning of December, around Christmas, you may be taking action this week, and it might be building up to Thursday. This changing of the guard could be very witchy. I'm telling you, it's going to be another great age for psychics, tarot readers, astrologers, the arts, and filmmaking. It starts this year, like now, and maybe even this week. Consciously, you can take this on-ramp this week if you want to be on like the cutting edge, and if you want to stay ahead of the curve, in which case, don't hold on to the past or to the old value systems. Whatever can be destroyed by the truth should be. Let it go. Let Pluto end it, so Pluto can give you the new beginning. Pluto's showing up and it's like, I'm going to take out the trash. And you're like, but there is no trash. And Pluto's like, I'm taking something out of your home. You choose for me, or I'm just going to pick out of my own. And you're like, but everything I want to keep. And then they're just going to come in, rough it all up, and then they're going to leave. They're going to take their things. It's going to be like. So that's what it's going to, that's Pluto. Okay. In love, romance, and creativity, and joy, and honesty. You can, sorry, I messed that up. So it's the beginning, so that Pluto can give you a new beginning, but the new beginning is going to be in love and romance and creativity and joy and in honesty, but it's going to be honest. It's going to be based off what you really value. And you had since November to figure out like, ooh, that doesn't work for me anymore. I don't like that. Or this is coming back up and I'm realizing that I really want this still. Or this is coming back up and it's like, you know what? I messed that up. I'm going to do better with this. Or this is coming back and I don't like this and I don't want to repeat the, whatever it happens to be. Whatever it was, everyone's having a different lived experience here. Unconsciously, oh, you don't want to do this unconsciously, resisting it will be very uncomfortable. This could be wild jealousy. This could be extreme violence or obsession. It's compulsive behavior. It's what you give your power away to. It could max out. People could be really... It's a lot of intense, powerful, complex energy to steer. So if people are giving all their power away, then what's doing the steering? That's where you have that like very extreme compulsive energy. But you know what I believe? No one should have to be a slave to their compulsions. Because it's painful. It's painful living with, compulsive... Sorry, I'm here so long. I have to move my little body. It's painful. Even to know that you're compulsive and to be like, I can't stop myself. I can't help myself from hurting you. It's like painful. Or to live with people that are compulsive and it's like you feel sorry for them, but it's a conscious decision. Like, do you care to try? Do you care to evolve? Do you care to grow? Do you care that you're hurting people, or are you just going to keep blaming other people for your compulsive behavior? Like, well, you made me do it. You make me hurt you. You made me... Okay, let's keep it going here. What else we got here? Moon conjuncts Neptune in Pisces, sextiles Mars, Venus in Capricorn. Okay, so consciously, you have so much support. We do. And so much self-knowledge to keep yourself motivated and to keep your true north. Mars and Venus in Capricorn, the cosmic lovers, are like, they're beyond being on the same page. They're in matching denim, in matching chambray, matching houndstooth suits, like whatever you want. They're like... They're the ultimate power couple right now. Okay, Mars and Venus in freaking Capricorn. That's the ultimate power couple. They're dark, they're smoky. They're my favorite couple of all time. Troy knows it. It's Gomez and Morticia. Adams. That's how my marriage is going to be. Otherwise, I'm saying thank you, no. Okay, Gomez and Morticia. They are the most in love, most passionate on-screen couple we have ever seen. And I feel like Gomez is a very healthy example of a divine masculine. He's very emotional and he talks about it. He's very passionate. He's very like about his doubloons, about his family, about his wife, about his career, about his brother. Like he's just very, and he he not only accepts that about himself, but he really appreciates Morticia for holding a space for him, you know? Okay, sorry. Where was I? Yeah, we've ever seen. And who better to exemplify? Oh, that's right. And who better to exemplify the pain and struggle and frustration of incarnation than these two? Jeez. Like they are trying their best to create their heaven on earth. And they make do with what they've got because it is morbid here. They're not like dark because it's fun, because it's like it's cool to be dark. They're dark because they're trying to be in love and trying to live life. And it's just it's dark here. And they know that and they see that and they're living with it. Because it's morbid here, especially if you're trying to be in love or be happy or ascend. So it's like having a Gomez inside of you and there with the Morticia inside of you. In your life, Mars, Capricorn, Mars and Venus in Capricorn, and they both give their nod of approval to this new beginning that you want, that you believe, that you're creating from your imagination. They're able to send their resources, their family members, his doubloons to go help you. Gomez and Morticia believe in what you're trying to do, even when there's nothing there yet. They're going to make their whole family help you because they see beyond this world. What did Morticia say? They were in like the family cemetery. I think she was telling Uncle Fester about like one of their ancestors or one of their family members who was like a fortune teller or something. And like another, family member that died in some interesting way. Because they see beyond this world. So this is witchy, okay? Let's okay, very, very, very witchy. And if you're, a beginner witch, or if you're just starting out, if you didn't grow up with, a psychic experience, if you want to open that part up, I say go for the aesthetic stuff. Go for the herbals, go for the crystals and that kind of thing. Because all of those things are amplifiers. They're psychic amplifiers. So that's a good start. Where was I? Oh, there is a powerful place in your life that also sees beyond this world. The part of you, the part of your life that is able to see beyond the veil is where the passion is. It's the Capricorn area that's been under construction since November. So it's the same place that's been going through the most deep and intense transformations, but it's also where you're so viscerally tuned in because of the unearthing. She's showing me, so when I worked at the cemetery, we really discourage like excavation and that kind of thing. But that's what she's showing me. It's like to excavate, to really dig something all up, to dig it up. So that part of you, and that area of your life, it's been dug up, in order for you to see what's there, to see what it is that you've buried so deep in your unconscious, or what was deeply buried in your subconscious, or what your parents buried in your subconscious. Maybe everyone is groomed, and everyone grooms their kids, no matter what, no matter if you're conscious or unconscious about it. So maybe there were some evil adults around you that groomed you to think a certain way, behave a certain way, believe in certain things because it benefits them. And then it's like programming. That's evil. That is cruel. That is evil. because then you know that that programming is going to continue even if they are physically away from you. So even if that kid doesn't talk to you for 10 years, that programming you already programmed, so they're going to still act and behave and think the way you want them to. I feel so weird saying that, but it's like, okay, so there's a lot of evil out there, and like I'm saying, like everyone gets groomed, like no matter what. So it's like, are you happy with how you were groomed, or are you not happy with how you were groomed? Because you can change it. You can take your power back. That's why I do what I do. Now you know, from November to now, something is clicking and unearthing. You've been given this gift by fate. Now you know, so you can go and choose your destiny. It's your choice, free will choice. Just like if you're going to go to heaven, you're going to let it all go. You're going to let go of the pain, the bitterness, the bitterness, the resentment, and all that jazz. Or are you going to commit to feeling really crummy and then be an earthbound spirit here on earth and haunting people? When's that going to get old? There's psychics that specialize in that, helping earthbound spirits that go to the light. That's, you know what that means. So I'm not into that. That's too much work. That's like a lot of work. You know, every psychic is different. Every psychic has like their own little aptitudes and gifts and things like that. Things that are just easier. So for me, it's remote viewing. But anyway, now you know. Also on Thursday, Moon enters Aries. Okay, all I wrote here, I wrote spicy chips, rah, rah, ah, 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 rama, ooh la la. We get what we get. Friday. I'm in love. Okay. Friday, March 4th, I'm calling it a sparkly new you. The moon conjuncts Chiron in Aries. Oh, my little Ava, my little Aries sun niece, she's got Chiron in Aries for like, oh my God, for like such a long time. Consciously, you're tuning into where and how to lead your life. And you're comfortable pioneering. This can be very healing. You're comfortable consciously with holding the tension of that exploration and potential to encounter danger and threats that may challenge your will and your aims. You can hold that tension inside of yourself and keep a straight mind and continue forward. To be able to hold that kind of tension and pioneer and go where you've never gone and live what you've never lived. This is bravery. This is courage. This is Aries energy. I like Aries energy. You know, we kind of, because I'm a Capricorn, we're both cardinal, but we don't feel it that way. We don't, you know, to other people, it looks like we're like arguing or fighting, but we don't, me and the Aries, we just, it's like, I don't know. It's just really, it's very nice. But seeing my, you know, like for instance, Capricorn adult to an Aries child, you have to know that dynamic. You can't just be, I'm like the iron hand in the velvet glove, right? But like Mary Poppins, you know, like Martha Stewart. Okay, so I really do it up. Like when I have kids and when Ava was like real little, like I was so conscious that I was in her subconscious mind. Because, you know, she's living, you know, they're living their parents' life. Their kids are living your life, but they're really in their own life. They do have their own life, of course. And you're just like, so I would do like victory rolls in my hair. I would put my hair up real tall and I would wear like retro dresses to like give it that real like nostalgia feel. Cause you know, she's gonna remember me like in black and white and like the sepia tone, you know? So it's just like, I love that. I love when I have kids, especially when they're under 7, really doing it up to give them like the best, like juiciest memory. Okay. Sorry, I'm just like, oh, that's right. Comfortable holding the tension. Oh, okay. So this is Aries energy. Love. Oh, that's right. I was talking about how I love Aries. Okay. I love Aries. Love Aries. I'm not going to digress. Okay, so unconsciously, you might focus on the feelings of fear, vulnerability, and inadequacy. So they might feel more intense than they actually are, and that part of you that can be bought might be tempted, or it might win. So if someone in your life is sort of cowardly, forgive them for that. Even if their cognitive dissonance and ego prevent them from admitting it even to themselves, you can see it. You can forgive it and move on. Okay. So also when you have kids, just real quick, you want to look at their chart, of course, and, you know, kids really deserve so much respect than they get. They really, really do. They really do. Saturday, March 5th, larger than life. Larger than life. Okay, that's right. So this whole week builds to the Sun-Jupiter Cazimi at 15 degrees of Pisces. That's where we're getting the larger than life energy, because Jupiter just expands everything, but it overpromises, so be careful. But this is like, this feels good. The heart can accept that life isn't what our minds have prejudged it to be, or what our parents taught us that it was through living their life. This is also coined, not by me, but by somebody else, the luckiest day of the year. Like, this is like I've heard this other astrologer say it's like the luckiest day of the year. It might be one of the happiest or the joyous. Just, you know, if it's not like overpromise, it doesn't have to be overpromising. Like, don't run with that, or don't overread that interpretation. It doesn't have to be overpromising. It could just be overindulging. It could be easy to just like, we don't want just two, we want all of them, you know, of overindulging. This is like widening the lens of life. Ideally, the overdoing energy, that expanding energy, is your perspective. And that might be very clear. There might be something that is like you saw it this way, but because you're using your imagination, you're staying open, and you're overcoming the subconscious programming, and you're not judging everything, you're able to perceive opportunity, and something just widens, and it becomes more. Simply more than all the finery than is humanly possible. I wrote, this is like widening the lens of life and being relieved to see angels on the peripheral instead of zombies. Because I sit here and I channel, I channel and I write. Beliefs can change on a dime this week, and I feel like that's pretty good. You know, you don't have to be who you were an hour ago. You don't have to live the life that you've been living tomorrow or the next couple hours. Like, you don't hold yourself to that. Don't limit yourself. That's why in relationships, like, everyone needs room to grow. Okay? So that you don't shock people, and that you're not shocked when people do grow. You know, you're not like offended when someone grows. It's like, good, yay, great, yes, go, you know, rah, rah, you know, I believe in you, keep going. You know, it's like a good, positive thing. Beliefs can change on a dime this week. The world can surprise you again and again. Mars and Venus conjunct at 29 degrees of Capricorn. This is very critical. This is like something gets tested with power and control. Okay. Something gets tested with power, control, responsibility, commitments, karma. It might be that weaker part of you that wants to settle for less than your worth out of fear of battling against that part of you that could never betray your own integrity. It might be like that. Desperate exes and estranged family members could return, and you have to make some decisions about how you're going to use your power. So you'll likely consider your commitments, your priorities, and your boundaries on that Saturday, because it could just be, it's like very, like I said, like larger than life. Like it's going to be very, like it could be expansive, but it can also be, for instance, the combination would be that desperate ex that comes back because you've got, I don't know, you got something great going on, and they overpromise what they can do for you, or they're over talking how they've changed, or they're over, so it can be kind of like that. And especially in Pisces, I'm sorry, Pisces, but what I would like to see on this energy is that integrity that you will never betray against yourself. That gets the belief, that gets the faith, that gets the larger than life energy, where you are believing in that you're doubling down on your integrity, you are doubling down on your self-worth, you are doubling down on your boundaries, you are doubling down on your commitments that you have curated and cultivated, that you can keep alive because of your emotional strength, because of your because of your spirituality. That's what I would like to see. Also on Saturday, we have the moon in Aries sextiling, the moon in Aries sextiling Saturn and Mercury in Aquarius. There could be additional details to hammer out or binders to read over the weekend, but it should be happy regardless. Like that could be like a lot of nice little, or maybe you're just moving around a lot, you're bopping, bouncing all over town, but it's like you're happy, you grab your coffee, you grab you find good parking, like it's just like like a thing. It's a thing. Okay. Sunday, March 6th, buzzing in the new, that's funny that I did, buzzing in the new vibe. So Venus conjuncts Mars at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So now this is really cool. This is really, really cool, you guys. This is really cool. Okay, so we've had Venus in Cap for like an extended amount of time to go back and be with Mars. And now they're marching into Aquarius together. So now our passions, our commitments, our integrity finds others who hold those same qualities. This can be a huge release in terms of, it's going to be like a tidal wave. It might be digitally, virtually, online, or social media, but it could also be physically, people gathering in like super huge masses, maybe like we've never seen. There could have been some last ditch attempts before Sunday to keep unhealthy, toxic connections. Like those, it's like the desperate ex that you always wanted them to do something or say something or like, come up a certain way, and you're tempted to allow them back into your life after you did all this big work on yourself or what have you. It could be very, very tempting, but it's not aligned with your vibe. It's just not a match, and you're meant to find others in that frequency. This is the start of that. This is the beginning of like this kind of nice big expansion. You could be meeting people this week, meeting new people, and then just kind of moving forward. Today could also bring you to people who you bond with over a shared sense of humanity or creativity or oddness or genius. It could be that the more individual and unique you are, then the more closely you find the people that are really in your vibe. Because otherwise it's just not worth it, because then you're going to fit into groups that you don't really vibe with, and it's like you're going to feel like you're alone in a crowd. I love this for the mind, the intellect, the imagination, coding software, Web3, decentralization, and innovating new solutions. Remember that intelligence and creativity solve problems. How can you perceive opportunity or solutions in any other vibration other than intellect and creativity? Consciously, super positive. Super positive. You might collaborate with kindreds or make new friends or discover something new. Unconsciously, people could be very low vibe Aquarius, which is really judgmental, gaslighting, negative, manipulative, ego-driven, materialistic. Also, what could be interesting socially is that cool, like what's cool or cool people, that could totally change. Like maybe even very like quickly, drastically, overnight. So you know how computer nerds, for example, used to be cool after they were super uncool, but they're not anymore because they're moralist, ego-driven, self-important, and super cringy, you know, but they used to be like the outcasts on like fringe society. I really think this could be the wave of spiritualists and occultists that might finally gain some wider acceptance, because we're definitely still weird. We're definitely weird still, especially like occult. It's like saying the word occult and occultist. So I'm just not the timing psychic, so I don't know when everyone else is going to catch up to that from their perspective. I don't know when we're going to be deemed as like palatable enough. I don't know. It's going to be, but what I can tell you is that psychics are going to be like the new life coaches. It's going to be normal for everyone, for everyday people to have on their team of specialists, you know, their therapist, their lawyer, their psychic, tarot reader, their realtor, their astrologer. It's, you know, kind of like how I offer that concierge service through like the highest tier on my Patreon. I think that'll be way more common. I think that'll be way more common, not just more common, but like just more like accepted. More socially. Actually, no, I should have some water. Look at, I have a lot to go. Hold on, pause for my water break. I'm sorry if you can hear me swallowing. I'm sorry. Okay. The moon enters Taurus, squares Mars and Venus in Aquarius. This is a knack. Oh, that's right. Okay, so the whole new cool thing. Let me just finish up there. So not just like the people or like what, but it's also going to be things that are not cool anymore. Like Venus in Capricorn over Christmas. People were not big displays of like not getting like a bajillion things for people. And it's like, it's just not the vibe. It just really isn't. All that stuff showing how like wealthy you are or wealth for the sake of wealth. Everything from the old system, like the good old boy thing, like all of that is kind of gross now. All of that, that's okay. So if like a spirituality became more mainstream, that means other things are like going downstream. So it's like you can't take it with you. It's like the physical possessions, you can't take it with you, but also your ego, you're not taking it with you. So it's just, that's going to change. It's kind of like how healthy became the new wealthy. Like if you're very, very healthy, that's like its own form of wealth. It's going to change again. And it's going to move along to be more, yes, more spiritual, but that's going to mean that, God, all that meaningless stuff is so, I always thought it was boring, but I think people are finding it kind of gross now, because we just want something different too. It's like the plastic surgery stuff, like all that, like seeing the same feature like on everybody is like boring. It's just boring. So it's going to be kind of like that, where people are going to be very, very ready for that, like that shock of something new and different, like a new, I don't want to say like a new standard of beauty, but like just something freaking new and different, just something, you know, just original. It doesn't have to be any like one specific thing. Okay, the moon enters Taurus, squares Mars and Venus in Aquarius. Okay, this is like having a knack for which colors to use, which brush to use when you're starting a new painting. You've got this new thing going on, right? And by now, you're far over the hump of accepting that something is changing and then making that change. You've already done that work. You've already seen that something is not sustainable anymore, you know, gotten rid of it, got the new thing going. You've done all that. Now you get to enjoy using all the colors in your palette, trying all the different strokes of brushes. I say explore. This is the best conscious application of the energy. Now, unconsciously, this is like your daughter came out as trans, and this is her first day showing you what she really looks like, who she really is. And you, if this is unconscious for you, are absolutely horrified because you still see a dude when she's never been a real dude. That's never been who she really was. That was the costume. You could be shocked. You have been resisting who this person is telling you they are because you're trying to project something onto them. So your cognitive dissonance is being broken. And you got some weird thing with yourself that you cannot accept, that someone is telling you who they are. Someone that you love is telling you who they are, or what they want to do with their life, or who they want to marry, or the career decision that they're making, or changing where they want to live, or how, whatever. So the people, all people who are not like on the astrology like we are, like this is very cutting edge, like to be this on point and on the astrology, that haven't, the people that have not been following along and listening to the cosmic assignment, they could take some time to adjust and be a little bit stunned. So for instance, you know, we've been here doing all this work like for years. I mean, I've been on YouTube since 2019, but other people have been on talking about astrology for like many, many, many years. Like for like a really long time. So I mean, I had my YouTube account, but I just started to be here like in this, in my real identities when I came out as psychic, and God, that was so freaky weird for me, in 2019. Gosh, where was I? No, I'm just thinking about my YouTube used to be like, I'm an actor and this is my demo reel. Like, oh my God, that's embarrassing. That's another thing too, is like, I think, no, I was like technically like a child actor. I would never do that to my kid. I'm not gonna do that to my kid. All my kids are gonna be like off camera. Unless I wrote a script and I'm directing the movie, then they can be in it. But otherwise, like that child act, that's like let's have you feel crummy about your life sooner. You know, it's just, anyway. Okay, where was I? Moon enters Taurus, squares Mars and Venus in Aquarius. So some people will like it. Some people will like that something is fresh and different. Some people will be shocked at first and kind of resist it and take some time to like it. That's all. And then the moon conjuncts Uranus in Taurus. Okay, so even if it's wildly different than what anyone's ever seen before, it can still resonate in everyone's heart because it's touching on a common humanity. So even, you know, that parent that is having like this shock moment with like their kid doing something or being someone honest about it, whatever, they're going to come around, you know, ideally, hopefully they come around. If they can like, kind of like Cancer energy. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, they overreact. We overreact, and then we kind of come down from that emotional high, and then we maybe have a different position. So it's kind of like that. Like it'll settle, but it's got that, like, that shock value a little bit. Because even if it's very different, you know, it's still someone you love. Like, do you love the person? Do you love the human being? Or do you love what purpose you thought they were serving in your life, and how you defined your identity based on who they were? Or are you living vicariously through somebody? Okay, so Moon conjunct Uranus and Taurus, it can still resonate, even if it's alien. It can still resonate in everyone's heart because it's touching on a common humanity. And this is what I love about being an artist. If I may speak a little bit on my private life, I create my art that way. I create my art to be something any creature on earth or otherwise can observe and just ingest immediately. It's its own vibe. It's something everyone can resonate with because it transcends the boundary of terrestrial limitations. Like, I cut right through all that BS to get right to the heart of it. Load it up, load it up, load it up. Unconsciously, people might be thinking with their emotions instead of using their emotions to inform their thinking. And they may lie to themselves and just not be as logical. They just might not be logical. Monday, March 7th, you're prepared. That's what I'm calling it. You're prepared. Mercury at 25 degrees Aquarius squares the North Node in Taurus. I'm telling you, we've been waiting for this since the beginning of November 2021. This energy might be similar to Valentine's Day because that is when the sun in this place of Aquarius is squared the North Node in Taurus. So when you had to overcome a challenge of value and worth, there were other things happening with Venus and Mars, but this particular this particular Aquarius Taurus energy was like this on around V-Day. But you're prepared. You already lived through February, and now you're prepared. So trust in your process of individuation. Let everyone else walk their path. We all know each other in heaven. I hope that doesn't like upset anybody. Like, all this divisiveness, all of the fighting, like, we all know each other in heaven. It's like a familiarity. It's like you know them, but you don't know from where or why, or it's like they feel like they're it's like at school you see someone like I think they live on my block or across the street. It's like that. It's like a familiar, so you don't okay, so it's like everybody trying to fight with each other here. It's like you are tarot time. Oh, I forgot all this time. I didn't have the little, oh, unless it went out. Oh, I think it did. Hold on. Let me tap you up here. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Let us take a look at what the tarot. Oh, you can't even tell that it's a candle. It just looks like some buzz, buzz. Okay. Ooh. All right. Let's do it to it. Let me put this over here. Sorry, I'm not reading all everyone's chat, but thank you for joining me this morning. Okay. What are the messages that would like to come through for this week, this Pisces new moon, for my people watching? We're going to do 3 positions, and we're going to do What is the message? Thank you. Ooh, very nice. Oh, guys, these cards. What is on my lip? Sorry. Look at that beautiful freaking card. So, you're getting over a very difficult situation. You're moving. This week you get the green light to go. Ooh. You get to move on. You get to move on from something that was just maybe even mentally exhausting. It could be a belief system. We're going to clarify, but so you're moving on to something that is way happier, way calmer. Was that part of that? I don't know if this was part of it. I'm going to put it with the Six of Swords. Oh my gosh. Okay, so, okay, this is giving us some information about what you're moving on from. There could have been like some inner turmoil in regards to, are you going to trust your intuition and act on something that you really believe or not? And it's like there was something kind of, it's like logic or intuition. This is kind of private too. You know, this is maybe not this is probably something that if someone else came to you with this, you would have had like an answer for them. But because it's you living through this, you're like, you might have tried to ask someone, you might have tried, you know, to reach out to someone, and they just didn't, they might not have just had an answer for you that you could use. Ooh, I'm gonna keep it kind of like that. Tell me about this week, please. What do we need to know? Wow. Wow. So this has to do with the equal give and take of your energy, your resources, your wealth, the opportunity. This is about who deserves kindness, generosity, second chances, your efforts, your considerations, your attentions, and who has not earned it. This is like the emperor that dresses up as a nobleman to go out in the town. See how he's giving this dude pentacles, but he's not giving this dude anything. The scales are telling him who is just, who is love, truth, and integrity, and who is just not. So it's almost like you're correcting some things. You might be bringing justice to a situation and making something right again. You know, maybe someone got the fuzzy end of the lollipop. That's Marilyn. That's my Marilyn on the spot. I haven't done her in a while. So, you know, but seriously, maybe someone did get it and it's like they didn't deserve it, or, you know, it's like there could be justice coming. And it's also something that has something positive to do with how you are doing your boundaries and like who deserves what and who's earned your, like I said, who's earned your kindness, like who's really gotten it. Ooh, Mother of Pearl, a lot of cards. Okay. Speaking of the Emperor. Okay, so now we have a true pair situation. So here's what's interesting. Okay, first of all, let's take a look here. Beautiful, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. See, there's some passion here. There might be an age difference if you're falling in love. There might be an age difference between you and this person. Someone may be just older, more mature, or there could be like the leader of an industry involved. Okay, so this King of Wands. This is like, I love the King and Queen of Wands because it reminds me a lot of Rick O'Connell and Evie in the Mummy. Just the first and the second. Those are the good ones. So, like, they just go on these adventures. They just grab their little rucksacks and they're just like, I got you, babe, you know? And they just go. Oh my God. Sorry. Thank you, Abnormal Failures, for Cardano, ADA for all my crypto people. Okay. So it's like, you know, they just like dig up little artifacts and they get the Book of the Dead and they do spiritual stuff, excavation stuff, mummies, that's the whole thing. They save the world and they go on their adventures and they learn about history and they open up their past lives and they, you know, it's a wonderful adventure full of, you know what? I like Gomez and Morticia and I like Rick and Evie. Because then there's like the history element of it. Ooh. I have a passion for history, huge passion for history. I can bring it to life. Okay, so that's what I'm getting here. And it's interesting because that was kind of part of your difficulty. Maybe you didn't believe that someone or something is like a past life familiarity. You know, when you meet someone new and you hit it off right away and it's like an immediate bond, that's a past life connection. Because that's not like that with everybody. You know, it's like different. So if there were like any doubts either about this other person or like an endeavor, something that you're starting, like a new adventure or something, especially if there's travel involved, that gets resolved. Because it's either you work with this person or you reconcile some parts of yourself. Okay. Let's take a closer look at this energy over here. Tell me about the Six of Swords and moving on. And maybe we can get more into what you're moving on to this week. So it's like you're really, ooh, Mother of Pearl. You're opening up to the belief. Nothing came up flipping forward. It's like you're opening up to the belief in the past life. I would watch The Mummy. That's your homework. Watch The Mummy. It's the Six of Swords here. Is this week 3 or week 4 now that you've gotten the star? You're absolutely inspired. You're absolutely inspired. Here's the thing. These stars in the pictogram, they fall down to Earth. And as they're coming down to the planet, they form and they take shape. And they take shape into this woman. So this woman is made of stardust. So like there could be some alien energy or like that's the whole concept of star. And here's what this woman is doing. She's balancing 1 foot on the ground and 1 foot on water. The fact that this person is holding these jugs of water, they're able to hold emotion and look at their emotions. And it becomes the stream of the unconscious. I think this is like an ibis of like meditation. So there's healing that's happening here. The star and the moon together is extremely healing. It's extremely meditative, extremely healing. There could be, that's really what's going to bring you through the doubts, the anxieties, the fears that you have in your mind, is this energy. Pardon me, one moment. Oh my God, Mother of Pearl. Okay, I did write some notes about the star if it happened again, because I do remember that about your readings, because I think the star came up in one of the weeklies. over on Patreon. What did I write here? The earth, oh, that's right. So the earth supports her weight, balances herself on the water of the subconscious. On the water of the subconscious, pouring the waters of life onto the material earth. The 5 rivulets represent the 5 senses before they run into the pool of the universal consciousness. That pool of universal consciousness runs through all of the cards in the tarot, by the way. From the other picture, she pours directly into the pool, which is stirred into vibration by meditation. Oh, that's right, the abyss of thought. It's the abyss of thought. Rests on a tree, which is the mind. And then these 8-pointed stars and the large one, that really big one, they all represent radiant cosmic energy. So all stars do that. Radiant cosmic energy. The 7 smaller stars are the 7 chakras of the body. Here's what I wrote down. Here's like, because I write a lot of, you guys know that I'm so obsessed with the pictogram and all of the esoteric symbolic meanings of like every little detail. And this is really what we go through in Tarot Talk, like very, very, very intricately, because then I have like all of my notes like in one place. Okay, so this key, this pictogram, is definitely one of meditation. And it's showing us that meditation modifies and transmutes the personal experiences of cosmic energy that pour down upon all of us. So if you listen, and that's what meditation is, it's like giving you like quiet enough time and space to listen. So you're going through something here. You've been going through this, you've been thinking about this, you've been stressing about this, and you just need to meditate. You meditate. You quiet the mind. And then you listen. And if you listen, the truth will unveil itself in the silence. From the record of nature's memory, symbolized by the scroll of the high priestess, it's another different key, we gain wisdom, out of which meditation develops specific powers by controlling the animal forces in the human personality. This is also sort of mirrored when I talk about the Strength card. So it's insight, it's inspiration, it's hope, it's unselfish aid, which is also in your 6 of Pentacles that you pulled. It's also good health, it's a gift. So if fate brings you the opportunity, this is it. This is the opportunity, and you've clocked it, you see it, and you've been thinking about it. Am I going to take this opportunity? Is this my destiny? If this is relationship for anyone, which is the King and the Queen of Wands, if it's that, it's great love. It's great love that is given and received. What's the 6 of Pentacles? But it's through this meditation. It's through sitting in that quiet space with yourself that's going to transmute all of your experiences into the truth, into the wisdom, into the divine knowing. And just trust yourself, like trust yourself with your life. Because you've been really stressing out about it, and your fears could have come up a couple of times. But that's like the subconscious fears. Oh man, here we go, hold on. This will be the longest video I've ever done. So the moon here, like this is the subconscious. And again, so much is overcoming the animal instinct. So here we have the domesticated dog, and then we have the wolf. They symbolize 2 different parts of the personality, and you have to make your way from the dark. The crayfish crawling out of the water of the subconscious. You have to make your way through the dark between the 2 pillars, the twin towers, guided only by the moonlight, which can make some things feel a little bit scarier and make some things a little bit brighter. It's a little bit, you know, scary and freaky. Okay, 6 of Pentacles. Meine Götter. Guys. Okay, so you got this last week. It continues on. Okay, so here's what's beautiful. And what I forgot to tell you last week is that the star comes after the tower. Ugh, you guys. So this might be the change of power that's happening in your life. This could be the change of power. This could be that the guard is changing, but probably for the positive, because this is only going to strike what is not the truth. This is only going to take down what is inauthentic, and it's only going to purify by divine fire what is the truth, what is authentic. Something in your life was built on false premises. Forgive it all. Forgive yourself for it. You're making it right this week because you're inspired. It could have also been something that was built on the wrong use of personal will. I have my little notebook here. That's what I'm looking at. What else do I write about? The crown of materialistic thought. That's right. The crown is of materialistic thought. Let's see, divine fire. It destroys only what is evil and purifies and refines what is good. Once one person does it, it's so much easier for other people to start doing it. I feel I'm getting that psychically, that someone might be the first to do something. You're on the cutting edge of it. You're on the cutting edge. And then it's like it'll make it easier for other people to be good or to do the right thing. The man and woman. Oh, it's a man and woman? I thought it was two dudes. Anyway, they're falling from the tower of material security after a brilliant glimpse of the truth. This might be like the shock factor for people. Okay. The shock part of this is the truth. It shocks people. It scares people, especially when it especially when it collapses the cognitive dissonance of people. So what's happening is that cosmic consciousness is struggling to break through your awareness or someone's awareness, your thoughts and, material ambition. They just don't work out. They don't really bring you what you really want. That's why it comes down. So someone might be experiencing that this week. Someone might get like the denial or the rejection, but it's only because something's been built on false premises, or it's not working, or it's not the truth, or it's not accurate. There's something, it's just material ambition, so that you can build again on a truer foundation. I have some of the more esoterica written here. I forgot about this, but this key, 16, is associated with the fall of Satan's kingdom. The tower is built upon a foundation of misapprehension. Oh, I'm getting like the shivers. I'm getting devil energy. Devil energy. Devil. So yes, change, conflict, catastrophe. This is like a complete overthrowing of an existing way of life, but one that was just built on misapprehension and false premises. Old notions get upset. It's a lot of disruption, but it'll bring enlightenment in its wake. Any kind of selfish ambitions coming down this week. But listen, the star comes after it. So you meditate on everything that was destroyed, everything that you're left with, and seek new inspiration. So what's interesting is that for you, sorry, my arms are super long. It's like if this dude were really counting on the generosity of this dude, when they give it to this person over here, this person may be going through a tower moment. They're like, oh my God. But this is about the right thing being done. So this would be like the divine fire. This would be like the divine fire striking and everything kind of happening. Okay. Last but not least, let's take a look at the Emperor. What is this? The Three of Wands. This is something that you've been expecting. You've been thinking about this. This is like already been going on in the 5D, and then it just like kind of happens this week. Tell me about the spicy Queen of Wands. Psychic Slip. Psychic Slip is my series of when she channels a card and then it comes up in a reading. I haven't been keeping track of them. I have a bunch downloaded that I need to splice together. Yeah. Anyway, well, first of all, we have the Five of Cups. I'll get to that in a second. And then bottom of the deck, we have the Devil. We have the Eight of Wands. Sorry, I'm like spitting all over myself. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm so excited. And the Ace of Swords. This is interesting. This is overall, the week for you is about breaking bondages to that which does not serve you. Here's the thing about the Devil card, is that he sits on this little half pedestal, this little mini monolith, and these people are chained to him, but these chains are loose. They can take them off at any time. This is something that you willingly participate in, you willingly give your power away. Like like binge eating, binge TV, you think you want it, like more, greed, sex, shopping, whatever. You think you want it, more. But it really runs you. It really, no one should have to be a slave to their compulsions. This is what I mean. It's really running you, and we don't know it, we don't see it. This is like something just breaks you free. And this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to free people's souls. I'm trying to save the world. And this is how you do it, through the individual. So it's like the sword literally breaks his chain. This might be, something gets to move forward, but this can also be communication, phone calls, emails, letters, texts, DMs, through some kind of conversation or through something being told or heard or said, that you have the victory. And listen, these two little thingies here on the side of the crown, it's the balance. I know one is the palm. I forgot what the other one is. It's the balance between severity and grace. Justice, okay? So overall, you could, so with the Six of Pentacles, this is like, you could have been supporting someone that can really support themselves, but you feel bad for them and they keep bringing you these like sob stories of victim mentality, whatever. You might feel really guilty about that. You might feel really guilty about taking, or letting someone go to hire the right candidate. It could be like, you have to redraw your boundaries and you have to really be honest about all of that. And it could just really upset the apple cart. Maybe it's just like not what's done. Or it's just like, it's just very, it's just very shocking. But the right thing has to be done. It has to be very balanced. So what's interesting is that there is some kind of, like let's say you do let that person go to hire the right candidate. Well, that person might be very upset with you. They may be very bitter. You may have lost, a relationship with this person. You may have really, but it's number one, going to be water under the bridge. Number two, you still have a lot left over. And when you kind of let that go, and that could be part of your devil energy too, is that maybe you feel sorry for people too much. Maybe you feel sorry for people because it was an ego gratification. Maybe if you treat this person with like some respect, like they're going to go find a new job. They're going to go start the first day of the rest of their lives. They're going to go work for themselves. They're going to go do something that's a better fit for them. They're going to go, be a little bit, because really analyze that. I'm so embarrassing. Analyze that. Why am I feeling so guilty about doing something, breaking up with someone, letting someone go, telling someone how I feel, putting up a boundary? Maybe there was an ego thing with this. Maybe you can kind of see like it's a flame now. Maybe it was an ego thing. Maybe you like to see everybody as being dependent on you or needing you for something. Doing the right thing lets all of that go too. It lets everybody off the hook. It lets everybody be more authentic and be, more sovereign. because there could be, you know, this could be the head of an industry, but this can also be a little bit of ego. This is someone, this is like the shot caller. This is like the head decision maker. So there's a lot left over here. And I feel like it's this Queen of Wands and the Three of Wands. Like, you know that. You know there's a lot, you know, for you to look forward to. So is this person, you know. And let that person have something to look forward to too. Let them go through their healing and their like self-discovery, their kumbaya. They're going to have their eat, pray, love moment. They're going to go travel the world, work their dream job, whatever. Let them have that. So you've been thinking about this already. With that Three of Wands, like your ships are finally coming in. Okay. My face is falling apart. This has been an extremely long reading. I love you guys forever and ever and always. I hope you very much enjoyed all of this that I had to say about the week ahead. And until next week, my loves. Oh, until next week, my loves, many, many, many beautiful blessings upon all of your beautiful heads, darlings. Mwah.